So, today going to be showing you the basic setup for a DPS build. Your basic setup is 3-piece Providence, because you get headshot damage, crit chance, and crit damage. If you're not running the Coyote mask, you want a Providence mask, because it comes with a red slot. You do not want a Seska or a GS, because they either come with a yellow or a blue, so it has to be Providence. Backpack, you also want, same reason, comes with a red slot as your gear mod. You want Vigilance. That's really the only talent that's even worth putting there. You could go Composure, which actually is a multiplicative damage talent for some reason. But Vigilance is definitely the way to go, because Composure is situational. There's a lot of times you aren't going to be in cover, especially in situations like the raid. So definitely want to go Vigilance. The gloves, you want the Contractor's gloves, and the Fox's Prayer. Now, the reason that these are being ran is because damage to armor and damage to out of cover is multiplicative damage. What that means is that it is multiplying your damage from your crit damage, headshot damage, and weapon damage are all additive. They all add to each other, and then you multiply your damage by 8% to armor and out of cover when those situations apply. Now, obviously, most enemies have armor, and most enemies that you fight are out of cover. That's just how the AI works. And then you want a Grupo Sombra for the crit damage, or you can go Seska too if you don't have a lot of crit chance. If your crit chance is maxed out in your shade levels, go Grupo Sombra and roll crit damage on both your gloves and your knee pads. Because it's crit build, and because of the Coyote masks, you don't have to get 60% crit chance. 50% is plenty. If you have 2 people in your group running the mask, you can even go as low as 45. Now, obviously, it is situational to how far away the enemy is. Generally speaking, you are at least 15 meters away from the enemy, unless you're being face tanked. So you get that 10% crit chance and damage, and those stack. So you don't have to go for the 60. Not that important. If you're running solo, you want to run the mask to get you to 60%. And then as far as guns go ARs. Eagle Bear is always good, but you can easily beat its damage. It's very effective if you're actually using it for its talent, and you're very good at headshots and killing really quick. Bighorn, still waiting on the buff for it, but down the scope is primarily how you use it. You don't really use it as an AR because it's only got a 30-round mag. Other assault rifles that you can go for are the P416, or the FAMAS, or the Police M4. And how you want to roll those guns is, once I find it, it is in my stash currently. You want to roll strained on it for ARs. There's really no other talent I would put there. Strain gives you 50% crit damage after 2.5 seconds of firing. So, and then in terms of the last attribute, you want to roll damage out of cover. It is, as with the Fox's Prayer knee pads, it is multiplicative damage, so it's multiplying your damage. And you can go damage to armor, but if you don't get the ideal roll, but damage out of cover is what you want, because you got 6% damage to armor as the cap, where here you got 10, so you get a little bit extra. Not all enemies have armor, like dogs and stuff, so it's best to just go with damage out of cover. And then, obviously, your M1A, it is getting a 12.4% nerf to its damage, but it's still going to be probably the best rifle out there. You can either go Lucky Shot, which is really good, or you can go Boomerang, which is what I would recommend, because you're still getting bullets returned to your magazine to get some extra shots when you get a crit hit, which gives you 40% increased damage. Again, you want damage out of cover rolled on it. And then in terms of your sidearm, get yourself a backup boomstick. This thing is absolutely nasty. It can get you out of some really sticky situations. If they're really up close to you, you can pretty much kill any purple that comes up to you. And at the very least, it'll make them roll. In terms of skills, I strongly advise using the Crusader Shield. You don't see a lot of people running this because they prefer to run the Reviver Hive, but I can assure you, if you've ever watched any of the raid videos that we do, I always run a Crusader Shield. It gets you out of some sticky situations. Now, this doesn't mean you run up to enemies on hero content or in raids or legendaries, because that shield will go quick, but it does give you 1.5 extra armor. Now, one thing people don't know is that if you are in front of cover like this, you will not take any damage from ads. They, for whatever reason, do not shoot you in the head. They shoot for your body. So it absorbs all the damage that you can take. Now, that's obviously beneficial because you're not taking damage, which it also keeps your vigilance back up, so you're doing more damage. So play around with it a little bit. You'll get used to it. When to pull it out, when to put it in, when to go in cover. You can just press L1 while you're in cover and it'll pull the shield up. Tap the button, you can go right into cover. So you can roll back, pull your shield out. There's lots of situations where it can really save your life, where you won't even need a Reviver Hive. So now, in terms of chest talents, you've got some options. Focus, I strongly advise if you're going to use a rifle. If you don't like scopes, that's fine. There are some other options, but focus charges after about 10 seconds. You get about 50% weapon damage. This thing hits like a freaking rock. Now, you do have to be in the scope, but one thing you may not know is that you do get a second out of the scope to reacquisition your targets. And that will allow you to pick your targets and you get a better field of view. You can also get it by reloading as well. But with Boomerang and Focus, I can get about 6.1 million, which is obviously very powerful. It absolutely melts hero content, even in a group of 4. You can also go, another thing to note, it does work with the shield. So, say you're scoping, you're in the back. What does it matter if you have the shield or you don't have the shield? You might as well have it out and scoping down the sights. And this way you'll take no damage. You can just sit there and keep firing. Keep an eye on your shield health. If it's about to go, just pull it down. It does have quite a long cooldown. I think it's about 18 seconds on default. Let it recharge before you go back out. In terms of their talents, you can go Obliterate. Now this is more for machine guns like ARs, because it's really hard to proc it, as you can see at the bottom. That little icon with the fist. It's kind of hard to proc it because you're not really shooting a lot of rounds, but for ARs though, very easy to proc. So LMGs, SMGs, assault rifles, definitely want to go Obliterate. You could also go glass cannon as well, but risk reward, you do take a lot of damage, so it's just one thing to keep in mind. I would probably go Obliterate instead. There are certain situations where you can use glass cannon, but generally wouldn't recommend it. You can also go with Overwatch. This will give you and your whole team 12% weapon damage and skill damage. So it buffs your whole team. Really effective in the raid. You do have to be in cover for 10 seconds. One thing to note, there is a named version of this, which I do have somewhere, which is Fenris. And since we're on the topic, you may have a question as to whether or not, since AR's got the buffs, should you run Fenris over Providence or Grupa Samba? And the answer is no, you don't. The damage is mostly even, but one thing you have to keep in mind is that's if you put for example, a Fenris holster there that's only applying to your assault rifle and not your other gun. So generally, you want to run the Group Sombra or the Providence holster if you're running the Coyote mask. So don't put a Fenris piece in there. Even if you're not running an LMG, you still want the contractor's gloves. Yeah, you're not. The LMG damage bonus is kind of null, but you're still getting the damage out to armor, and that's the key. So that's your basic setup for DPS builds. It's really not much else to it. You just want crit chance, crit damage rolled everywhere you can get it, including your mods. In terms of shade levels, max out your crit chance first, then your crit damage, because you get 20% there, and then go weapon damage. That's how I would do it, and then headshot damage last. That's pretty much it. In terms of specializations, you definitely want to go sharpshooter, because you're getting 15% weapon damage, and the weapon stability, accuracy, especially on your M1A and assault rifles, so get the 15%, get the weapon stability, the armor kits remove status effects. You also get, your teams also get extra bonus. You get ammo regeneration while you're in cover. So that's kind of the route that I would go. And then the flashbang is obviously very useful. So there's really not much else to it. That's a basic setup. Eventually, once you get your shade levels on max, you get some good rolls. You can get your crit damage pretty close to. I got mine at 195 with only on my Eagle Bear and about 186. I think a little low, but I got a mod wrong somewhere. But you can get it out to about 190 for your M1A. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can just ask me in Discord, and I'll be sure to help you out. Thanks, guys.